next one, we're going to do a smiling pose with teeth. Because we want to show, we're going to try and practice our mouths open with teeth or open without teeth. So you're going to get, you can get a picture of yourself or use the picture that we provided to you in the tutorial. And that is just a general mouth, smiling mouth, which is similar. Okay? The mouth can be with teeth smiling, with teeth open, and with your mouth closed is going to be, pretty much different. People have a difficult time with the teeth, but the thing that I would like to remind you is that it's the same basic shape, and then when we're drawing the teeth, we're going to focus on drawing the darker spaces in first. Your teeth are not all flat white. If you notice, they get darker in value. Here, let me revert it to black and white so you can see. This is a trick that's very helpful. So if you take your photo and convert it to black and white, it's a lot easier to see that value. So when you're drawing around your teeth, you want to think about making that darker, and then you're also putting shadows in your teeth. And I like to use, like I was doing with my lips, you can use a tortillon, which I have here, but you can also use your fingers to smudge and get those soft values. Okay? So for a basic mouth open, you're just going to outline. I'll make it a little bit smaller. You can use your eraser. Make just a basic outline of the shapes that you see. Lightly. Remember, always drawing lightly. You can even measure. You want to make sure you get the distance correct. If you don't want to use your fingers, you can use your pencil and measure. Just lightly outline. And then same with the bottom. You can also measure here as well. So we know it's going to be about that size. Your lower lip comes in further from that outside corner. So that shape. There's a tutorial that you can also follow there, but I'm just going to show you. So we're just outlining those basic shapes. I have the top lip. If you need to move something, you can. I need to move the Cupid's bow on my lip. And then the middle part of your teeth, I don't know if she talks about this in the video, that lines up with, goes through the middle line of the head, which we haven't really talked about yet, but that's right underneath your nose. So typically the front teeth are going to align right in that middle. If you have crooked teeth, you can change that shape. But I can see the top part of my teeth. And then it makes like a little pie shape. Just kind of like carving out those little sections between each tooth. And I'm just lightly outlining those shapes. And pay attention to the negative space around those teeth. Remember, they're behind the lips, so I still see some of those back teeth, but they're going to get darker in value as they move back. And then I can see a little bit of my lower teeth, kind of peeking underneath, and those are going to be extremely darky shadow. So it's going to appear they're behind my front teeth. And that shadow gets pretty dark. Okay? So that's the basic outline. And then I want to come in and start adding that value. So I'm going to start blocking in that shadow. And we do the same kind of shading I did for that we just practiced with the lips closed. So I'm going to start laying in the value of my lips are darker on the edges. So I want to bring up that value. I don't have lipstick on, so this is a good way of showing, even without lipstick, your lips are darker in value. Typically your lower lip is lighter, if you notice, is lighter than your top lip. That is because your lips are in shadow, and then your lower lip is coming out. So it's like, wish I had trying to show from this angle. So if it's tilted down, the top is on in highlight, and down below is in shadow. So that's why your top lip is always darker, and your lower lip is always lighter in value. Even if you're wearing makeup. And underneath I'm smiling, so it's going to flatten that lower lip out. But usually your lower lip is going to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to now start shading in those lips. Remember, you can take your pencil to the side, and you can get softer lines if you need to. Or you can smudge with your finger. Okay? And if you notice, if your mouth is closed or open, it's always going to be the darkest on the edges. So the edges of that mouth are going to have a bigger shadow. Remember she talked about in the video, and I've always said to you since we've started this class, you need to have that value from light to dark to show to make your drawings look appear more three-dimensional, and to show truly, show the form of that lip. So I'm going to kind of go in and define wherever I can see the darkest values. I can add some of those lip lines on top of that value. But careful about making your lines super dark, because that can actually make you seem a little bit older than you are. And the way that I'm kind of smiling here, that the right side of my mouth is a little bit darker. So I'm pushing down as hard as I can to get that inside crease. I can use my finger to get some of that pigment and darken those edges of my mouth. And I want to do the same thing. If you notice, my teeth are lighter in the front, and then they get darker in the back. So I can use that to make my teeth get darker on the side, so it'll appear to be more three-dimensional. And on the bottom of the lip, I'm going to crease that value a little bit so that it pops forward on top of my teeth. Always make sure that your pencils are sharp. that makes it drawing a lot easier. And just lay those lines right over. And the shadow underneath my teeth are going to be the darkest as well. So I'm just kind of bumping up that value. You can use your eraser as well if you need to erase any highlights. And then the top of my lip is a little bit darker, so I just push that value there. And I want to make the edges of my lower lip a little bit darker, laying those lines on top. On this side as well. And usually it's going to be a little bit of a shadow on either side. Got a little bit of a dirty eraser mark, but that's going to be our mouth. That was a picture of my mouth closed, and then a picture of my mouth open. Closed and open. So just wanted you to practice. Remember, we're practicing the tutorial, and then I want you to do, from observation, a picture of your lips closed, smiling. You can use your own mouth, or you can use the picture we provide to you, or if you want to Google pictures. When you're Googling pictures, I want you to find photographs of real people, not cartoons. I'm just going to show you real quickly. My face was horrible from the mask, so I apologize. Terrible acne from wearing a mask. Alright. So, my lips smiling, closed. Which they look completely flat. Because I'm smiling, so they're stretching out. So that's the difference. This is just my lips closed, relaxed. These are my lips and teeth open, smiling. And then this is my lips closed, smiling. So it just completely stretches them out. And notice that the creases are darker. I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller. So again, you can start with that middle line, which is more stretched out. Let's see if I could do a better one. It's too flat. Yeah, that's better. But we're practicing the features now so that when you draw your portrait, it's going to be a lot easier. So still flattened out, fairly flat. It's a little bit of an angle. If you notice, it's kind of like a little swoop. It's not flat across. And I drew lightly, so it's going to be easy to fix. My lower lip is my upper lip is very thin. I look like the Grinch. And the lower lip is also very thin because I'm smiling, so it's stretching out, and I'm going to emphasize the edges of the mouth. So when you take your picture, you're going to pick your final portrait. You're going to pick a photo that you like. So that's why we're practicing different, features, because some people, when they smile, they open their mouth and you see teeth. Some people keep their mouth closed. You want to think about, what kind of pose you want. You don't want to look like you're sad and have no expression on your face. We want to try and find a photo where you're smiling and it looks pleasant to the viewer. Okay, so look at the difference between this is my mouth closed, this is my mouth smiling, open, smiling closed. Open smile, closed smile. So again, my upper lip is still darker than my top lip. So I'm going to shade in that upper lip. I'm going to darken the inside line, that shadow. It's usually darker here on that edge. And then super the darkest in that crease. And it kind of curls. Thinking about all the Christmas presents I'm going to take from my little sister. Did anybody ever do that? Or you open up the corner and peek and see what you got inside? I did that once. And then I got caught and never did it again. I thought I was being slick. My parents knew what I was doing. There we go. That. So build up that value. It's darker on that edge. The lower lip, I can see some of those lines in the crease in the middle, but it's darker on the outside edge. It's lighter. Most of the shadow is on the outside of my mouth. You notice this huge shadow on those corners. That's going to emphasize that I'm smiling. See how I put that shadow here in the corner? That's going to help emphasize. If you want to make it softer, you can use your finger. You can also start putting that light value on your upper lips. The Cupid's bow is completely highlighted. So the shadows on either side of that upper lip. And I'm just smoothing it out so it looks like a nice smooth transition. I have a little bit of a shadow on that edge. I can't tell if that's my blemish or if that's actually that dark. And then on my lower lip, the corner of my lower lip is the darkest. And then it's the edges. And then I have a huge dark crease on that inside edge. Okay? So that is smiling closed. So they're pretty good examples of those mouths. And like I said, you can use the pictures that I provided to you online and Canvas, or you can take your own picture with your Chromebook or your phone and draw from that. I think that's the most helpful.